There's an American poet called Louise Glick. It's spelled G-L-U-C-K. She's very intense, and she writes very beautifully, sort of declamatory poems. But over the last few years, I've been reading her myself very intensely, and she writes intensely. I'd like to be trapped in a lift with her. No, I can't recite her poetry, but I mean, I can recite bits and pieces. I can recite Sir Thomas Wyatt. I mean, a lot of Sir Thomas Wyatt's "They flee from me that sometime did me seek," which is a beautiful poem from the 16th century, which has one of the most sort of beautiful erotic moments when, after a sudden guise, when her loose gown from her shoulders did fall, and she took me in her arms, long and small, while all sweetly did me kiss, and softly said, "Dear heart, how like you this?" Yeah, I'd be interested in Jane Austen. The reason being that you really have to have your wits about you, which I think in the afterlife is even more important than in this life. That she'd be watching you very carefully, and she'd be ready to make so many judgments about you. And I'd like her to be on my side so we could both sort of laugh at other people, but I wouldn't like her laughing at me. No, I did no interest at all.
No interest in...
Not really, you know. I'm sure they're all wonderful. You know, the image is a wonderful thing, and I'm glad, you know, we invented it. It won't last, whereas the word will be there forever.
What if someone wanted to make a screenplay?
Oh, great, lovely. Come on in. Oh, I think it's really hard to get away from the cliches of just getting into water that's not warm but isn't freezing, and getting right down into it and floating on it and looking up at the sky and trying to empty your mind of everything and doing that for as long as possible, and knowing that in the evening you will be meeting people, there'll be a nice supper maybe, and in the meantime just lie back and don't think. I suppose like everybody, you know, sex, money. Then I think about work, you know, I think about things I can put into books. I like sleeping. So I think about those things, maybe in that order.
Sleeping, good content for books, or?
No, just sleeping so you can get up in the morning and think more about sex, money, and things you might put into books. No, childhood was sort of miserable, and the others were much better reading than me, and I sort of used to watch them all. So I didn't start reading until I was really seriously, until about 12 or 13. And I suppose then maybe discovering, I mean, I wasn't a child, but discovering Hemingway when I was about 15, which really set me thinking that I could be that myself. I could go and live in Spain. I could do all those things. And maybe I could try and write like him. So that was a big deal. But childhood, oh, miserable, awful. Ireland, awful. No, miserable. School, teachers, miserable, awful. No, I think days are useful rather than years, you know. Years go by, but if you just held on to days and lived in a day rather than a decade or an hour, I just live in days and let the day go by in whatever way it will. It's probably a better way to be than trying to manage some other way of living. But I'm not sure I know anything.